Breitlander here, co-owner of Krain Luxury Real Estate.
And today I'd like to show you one of our top luxury listings.
Hi everyone, Sarah Breitlander here, co-owner of Krain Luxury Real Estate. And now we have 5 offices located in the Guanacaste region of Costa Rica. Essentially, we're everywhere our clients want to be, is what we say. And we cover all of the territories up from the stunning homes in the Papagayo, all the way down south as far as Avellanas, which is where our latest office is. And today I really want to do this video. It's more of an educational video because it's the #1 question that my clients ask when we hop on a buyer intake call, as I call them. And that is, what exactly is the buying process in Costa Rica? It's a great question. And I always like that question because the truth is the experience of buying real estate in Costa Rica is very similar to what my U.S. and Canadian clients are accustomed to, because it kind of follows the U.S. and Canada, which is great. There are a couple differences. There are also a couple of things that you should be doing before you come down and look at real estate, but those are other videos, and we'll try to put the links to those down below as well so you can watch those. But let's assume for these purposes you have talked to me already. You're here, you've looked at beautiful, stunning homes, and now you've made an offer, and that offer has been accepted. What happens next, right? So that's the buying process. The first step in that, let's say you put a home under contract, you have a fully executed purchase and sale agreement. The first step is that you have 10 calendar days to basically send down 10% into the purchase price into an escrow account, okay? These are escrows held, these are third-party entities. Krain, for example, does not hold these funds. They're registered with the Costa Rica government. They're highly monitored, so the money's safe and sound, and this is what they do full-time, is hold people's money while they are in the due diligence period of buying real estate. So the first step, I always say, is make sure you're liquid for 10% of the purchase price, because you have to get that down quickly to Costa Rica. So you have 10 calendar days to do this. This is usually the hardest part of buying real estate in Costa Rica for my buyers, because the rest of the steps, really, we have professionals working on your behalf, but this is something you have to do. And you also have to fill out Know Your Client forms. And they can be quite onerous at times. It's just because Costa Rica is trying really hard to combat an old reputation it had a long time ago, back in the 80s and 90s, for like money laundering or what have you. So they almost go overboard because they never want that stigma to be attached again. And so it's a little harder. These Know Your Client forms are detailed, and it's usually more involved than it would be in the United States and Canada. But it's a good thing. It's, comes from a good place. So after you fill out all those Know Your Client forms, they won't even give you the bank account to send down the funds until they're satisfied that the funds are clean, coming from a legal place. And then they'll give you the account number. So you send down 10% in escrow. That really gets the ball rolling. That's when all the professionals say, okay, this buyer's serious. They've sent down their escrow monies. Let's get started. After that is what I call the due diligence period. It's about 3 weeks. Sometimes we can get it done in 2, but 3 is average, and it can be extended for longer if we need to. But during those 3 weeks, that's when we bring in the professionals. So the attorney will check the title to make sure the title is free and clear of any encumbrances, right? We have a home inspector. So we will, at least here at Krain, we give you 2 to 3 options of home inspectors in the area, reputable home inspectors. You can interview with them. Basically, you'll pay them. I'm ballparking here, but it's about a $500 cost. Obviously, it depends on where the home is and how big it is. But we always recommend getting a home inspection, and it's very similar to the U.S. and Canada in that regard. You'll get a full report before the due diligence date expires. Okay, so that's the second professional. The third is, especially with single-family homes. Sometimes we have to do it with condos, just depending on the history, but definitely for single-family homes, we want to send a surveyor out to verify that the boundaries are true and correct. Sometimes we have to make tweaks to that. You know, in the, we call it the National Registry here. That's where all of the records are kept, so you can see everything about your property online, which is quite tech savvy, and it's one of the things Costa Ricans are proud of down here. But because we have transitioned from kind of meets and bounds, the old way of doing things, to GPS and satellites, sometimes those boundary lines may be off or need tweaking. And if that happens, we have the surveyor that says, yes, this is something I can fix, or no, this is a bigger problem. Normally it's everything's fine, but of course we're going to know all of that during the due diligence period, and it's something we highly recommend to do because it just protects you. Again, you can ballpark that at about $500. Of course, it's a buyer cost because it's protection for the buyer. So those are the 3 professionals that will be working on your behalf. And of course, us as your real estate agents, we're going to be working hard on your behalf too. We will want to go do an inventory report because, as many of you know, so many of the homes here are sold fully furnished. So you want to make sure you're getting all of that, that inventory when the home is sold. So we'll go over, we'll do a full inventory, and that's pretty much the process. For my clients, I also highly recommend that you are doing your research, if you haven't already, about property management companies. That's very important down here because most of our clients are not living here full time. So at least with our clients, we also own a property management company. Sometimes our clients aren't aware of that until they come down here and buy with us. But we manage actually over 130 homes in the 10 different beach towns. We're in 5 of them. And that's why we have offices in so many locations, is really to serve in terms of property management. You know, we're not here to just sell a home to you. We're here to help you protect your asset and have it make money if that's what you want to do while you're not here using it. So those are also things. We want to get the property management contract in place and make sure when you close that the home is in good hands. So those are the things you should be doing during the due diligence period. At the end of that is called the due diligence date. I always call that the DD date, the drop dead date. That's the date by which you need to tell us you've reviewed everything from the professionals and you said, okay, great, Sarah, this all looks good, I'm moving forward, okay? Or this doesn't look good, for whatever reason, I'm not moving forward. If it's the latter, if you don't move forward and you tell us on or before the due diligence date, your escrow monies will be returned fully, minus wire transfer fees, of course, and that's kind of the end of the story. But if you tell us on the due diligence date you're going ahead, that's great, we proceed. Of course, if you don't proceed after you've accepted due diligence, for whatever reason you don't close, then the escrow monies, that 10%, will go to the seller in good faith, just like the U.S. So that's kind of the process. After you tell us on the due diligence date, Sarah, everything looks great, I'm moving forward, the only thing left at this point is really just to get the remaining funds down here to make the purchase. That takes about another 7 calendar days, and we can close about a week after the due diligence date expires. So from soup to nuts, we're talking about 30 to 45 days after you put a home under contract until you can close, get the keys, and call it yours. I hope this helps you understand the buying process here in Costa Rica. Remember, your Krain family is always down here waiting to serve you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or a Krain agent today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video if you found it helpful. Ciao for now, and pura vida.